Hey YouTube, Matty's Day 12, Team JMT, coming to you guys with another tournament result video, I guess. Went to Louisville, Kentucky, to a cash tournament there at Bluegrass, and I didn't do too awful well. I didn't do too bad, but I didn't do too awful well there. I was able to play my Chaos Dragons again. I was actually able, while I was there, to spend some time with Daniel Morris. He's the guy that's been kind of, I guess, tutoring me in the way of the Chaos Dragon, and we talked about some card choices, and we talked about some different side deck choices and whatnot. Made some changes to the deck after I talked to him, and made some changes to the extra deck and whatnot. But let me go ahead and I only played 3 rounds before I dropped. I didn't do so hot like I said before. First round, I played a Glad Beast Fire Fist deck, I believe is what it was. All I saw was Glad Beast. However, he was running the Fire Formation, spells and traps, so that leads me to believe that he was running the Fire Fist also. However, I didn't see any Fire Fist, so all I saw was the Fire Formation card, so it might have just been just Glads. But anyway, I dealt with him game 1 and game 2 both. I 2-0'd him. It wasn't really that big of a match. My guys are just bigger than his Laquaris and whatnot, so I was able to stop anything he was wanting to do. So that was nothing real big coming out of round 1. Round 2 was a round that I should have won, but I ended up losing just out of some silly stuff that happened. Game 1, I removed Red Eyes Darkness Metal with Eclipse Wyvern, and then later made a play, and while I removed the Wyvern in making the play, and I forgot to get my Red Eyes Darkness Metal. Getting the card back is an optional effect, so I actually missed the chance to be able to get my Red Eyes back, because you don't have to get the card back. What happened was I was trying to do the math to make sure that I had the OTK, and I was trying to make the play at the same time, and I just got confused in what I was doing, and it's my own fault for not grabbing the Red Eyes, and I could have ended up OTKing him on my second turn, and like I said, I made the bad play and didn't get my Red Eyes. I got ahead of myself, and that game ended up grinding out, which he ended up winning. And then game 2, I just wrecked him. I pretty well I handled him. He didn't really do nothing to me game 2. But game 1 took up so much time, and game 2 was really quick. Game 3, actually went into time limit, and the judge made the announcement that we were going to be running it as a tier 1 event, not a tier 2 event, and it's my own fault for not recognizing this. I actually read the policies the night before, and I knew as a tier 1 event that if you go into time, you only play 3 turns, your turn 0, 1, 2, and 3, instead of 5 turns like you do at a regional or a YCS. And I decided to make a push. I was turn 0. My opponent's turn 1. I'm turn 2. I decided to make a push in turn 2, expecting that put my opponent at 2,500 and left me the ability to attack and lead for 3,800. Left him at 2,500 more than me, and left me in a position to attack for 3,800 the next turn. But I decided not to make that push during turn 0 and then the additional attack in turn 2, because I was expecting 5 turns, which there was only the 3. Now, like I said, the judge made the announcement that it was going to be a tier 1 event, but he didn't make the announcement about the difference in the rounds, but it's something that I knew as a player. I just never made the connection that was actually what was happening whenever I went into time. Like I said, it's something that he probably could have made the announcement about. Whenever he made the announcement that it was going to be a tier 1 event, not a tier 2, he probably could have explained to everybody what the difference was. But honestly, it's kind of more my own fault, because I knew the difference and I just overlooked it anyway. And then so I ended up losing round 2. Round 3 actually turned out to be a Macro Heroes. I'm sorry, round 2 was a mirror match. I played against Chaos Dragons. And then round 3, I actually played him against Macro Heroes. Game 1, he opens Macro and pretty well just shuts down everything that I wanted to do. Game 2, I sided in my answers and I completely just wrecked him. Game 2. Game 3, he goes first and he opens Macro again, which didn't really hurt me. What hurt me was the fact that I drew one of my side decked Soul Takers. I drew Heavy Storm, both MSTs, Dark Hole, Monster Reborn, 1 Solar Recharge, Allure of Darkness. I drew a Breakthrough skill. I drew all my spells and traps. The only monster I drew was Dark Flare Dragon, which I removed. I played Allure of Darkness, removed Dark Flare, which drew into my Dark Hole and MST. So in a deck that I'm running 30 monsters, I drew 1 monster, and let's see, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I drew 9 spells and 8 spells and 1 trap in the 10 cards that I got to see. And basically what happened was he goes Thunder King, 19, 19. I ended up Soul Takering the Thunder King. He goes Alias, 19, 19, and he beat me. There was just nothing there was absolutely nothing that I could do. I ended up playing Dark Hole, and he ends up showing me the last monster, and I'm just like, sure, whatever. So I ended up dropping after that round, which was kind of bad because honestly there was a couple 3-2s that made it. I probably could have snuck into the last spot, but I don't know, probably not. However, some of the changes that I made in the deck after talking to Daniel Morris, I actually dropped. I bumped it up to 3 Raikou before the tournament. I dropped the Jane for a 3rd Lila, and then I actually dropped Aaron for the Cyber Dragon. Now, Cyber Dragon, you guys are like, oh, it's not a dragon. How does it really fit? It's a light, so it does fit into the Chaos. Also, it's a level 5. You can make a lot of plays off of this just because it is level 5. And let me point out what exactly that is Volcanosaurus. Volcanosaurus is just so busted in this deck. If I'm not mistaken, Daniel Morris actually won his top 8 match because of Volcanosaurus, burning his opponent and then overlaying for Gaia Dragon, I believe, and attacking directly and just wrecking it that way. But it was because of Volcanosaurus that he was able to win. I actually got rid of a Blackluster Soldier in round 2 with Volcanosaurus. I brought out a special summoned Cyber Dragon. I then special summoned a Dark Flare, made Volcanosaurus, and then burned my opponent for 3k by destroying his Blackluster Soldier. Just so many good plays in this deck, guys. I actually decided to go with Plague Spreader also. It was really good also. I made a play with Chaos Sorcerer and Plague Spreader. I made Chaos Sorcerer, removed a monster, I didn't stack for Plague, I'm sorry. I summoned Plague, made Scrap Dragon, and then continued to just blow up stuff. I actually blew up Scrap Dragon itself with its effect, blowing up one of my opponent's cards, and then brought it back with Red Eyes Darkness Metal, targeted a set Breakthrough skill, and blowing up another card my opponent had. So throughout that turn, I was able to remove a monster, blow up a back row with Scrap Dragon, and then blow up a second back row with the Breakthrough skill with Scrap Dragon the second time. So that was just really busted. So yeah, I really like the way the deck sets right now. Breakthrough skill was awesome for me at 2 at the St. Louis Regional. However, I probably could have just played the 1 and been okay. The extra deck, I had the extra Scrap Dragon and Gaia Dragon or Gaia Knight that weren't there before because I'm playing the Plague Spreader, so I needed a couple extra options. Extra deck. Oh, Star Liege. This guy is awesome. If you are running anything that can make a rank 4 with lights, you have to use this card. This card won me a game. My opponent summoned Grand Mole. and left it on board. He summoned Grand Mole and then just attacked over a Lila in defense position, just attacked over it, didn't activate its effect. Then I go swarm out on him, and I ended up making Star Liege when I swarmed out on him, and then activate his effect to make Grand Mole 0 and to be able to negate his effect, which allowed me just to completely wreck him. So yeah, Star Liege, you guys, Star Liege, Polydynamo. Yeah, you guys got to try that card out. That card was really good. However, what I did learn from this is that this deck is just not for me. I need something more control-based. I have to have something that is going to be just... I got to trade off my resources. This is not a deck that I'm really good with. I've not done well with it at all. At least I've not lived up to my expectations with this deck. So I've decided that I'm going to push this to the back burner a little bit, and I'm actually going to make the move to Macro Rabbit, and I'm going to play Macro Rabbit for a little bit, and because it's a little more stun based. Obviously, it's more stun based, and I feel like it's going to do more of what I'm used to. You know, I've kind of made my name in this game being a stun player, and I've gone away from that, and now we have what I think is probably the best stun deck ever in Dino Rabbit, Micro Rabbit, and I'm going to go back to playing it. I'm going to go back to actually playing stun. So this is going to push back to the back burner, so I'm going to try to do some more fun things with this deck. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to push Gustav Max back into the extra deck. I'm going to try to make Gustav Max more often. I think it's going to be a lot of fun trying to put him on board. And to help out with that, I'm probably going to drop at least one breakthrough skill. And I don't know if I'm going to play one or two of these. It might be coming out of the side deck. I actually got this ideal from Asian Persuasion. But I'm going to try Metal Reflex Slime. Now, it becomes a monster whenever it's activated, and it's still treated as a trap. However, it is a Aqua Water level 10, 0 attack, 3,000 defense. So it's a huge butt that your opponent cannot get over, and it's a level 10. So if you ever get Red Eyes or Trag on board and want to bring this out and make it into Gustav Max, you'll be able to. So that's what I'm going to be doing with this deck from now on, guys. I'm going to be trying to have a little more fun with this deck, and I'm going to try to get a little more competitive with Dino Rabbit. So there you go, guys. That's how I did at this past event. And I guess that's about it, guys. I guess you can kind of say goodbye to Chaos Dragons for a little bit. I'll probably still be trying to do some duel videos and stuff with it, but that's about it, guys. I mean, I kind of hate to say it because I kind of enjoyed this deck. I won't lie a bit. I did enjoy this deck. The plays are there. It's kind of like a poor man's Marmills, to be honest with you. It has a lot of explosive plays, just like Marmills do. Just not nearly as expensive. When I'm talking about, like, my boss monsters are $2 and $3, and their boss monsters are $120. So yeah, I guess it's the poor man's Mermills, if you want to call it that. So there you go, guys. I appreciate it as always. Subscribe, comment down below, show us how much you love us.